Hey guys, it's your boy Pat. Welcome back to the next episode of the Hollow Down Cigar Lounge. We're going to have what I know is going to be a great show for you guys today. We got a nice panel of friends over here on the side. Up top, we got Justino, Dr. Pallet, and Ron over here, Chato down here, and we got our first time guest, Adrian from One Tribe Foundation. How's it going on, gents? What y'all up to today?
Going good, man. Going good.
So I
Glad to be
will
here, man.
I will
Good.
preface
Excited.
this off the bat. This is not one of our review shows. So if y'all are expecting a review show, that's not it. Smoke whatever y'all want to smoke, put whatever you want in your glass. I don't care. We're gonna hang out for the next hour or so and talk about some things. I will get this out of the way so y'all know what we are doing. Our friend Adrian right here, he is with this group right here, One Tribe Foundation. And I'm not going to steal all the thunder. I'm just doing an intro for him, and then we're going to let him talk about it. If y'all ever heard of 22 Killed, that was the previous name as well, one and the same. And they do a lot for veterans and first responders. So if y'all have seen what we do for Cigars for Warriors, obviously some of us are vets, some of us are not, and we support it full heartedly. So obviously we wanted to bring in One Tribe to talk about this stuff as well. Um, so that's what we're gonna do today. Is we're just gonna spend time together, hang out, smoke some cigars, have fun, and shoot the shit with Adrian for a while. It's pretty much what's gonna happen.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Oh,
Um, but Adrian, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot real quick, we'll get the cold, hard, and dirty over with. Tell everybody, um, obviously, who you are, what y'all do, where you're at, and kind of an intro into One Tribe and whatever you want people to know about your mission, brother.
So, my name's Adrian Joel. I'm the outdoors program manager for One Tribe Foundation. Um, One Tribe Foundation started off as 22 Kill back in 2013 as a suicide awareness campaign uh, with the 22 Push Up Challenge. Uh, might remember it went kind of viral in 2016 after The Rock and Statham did it. And pretty much it just started off with a bunch of a group of Marines that were losing more buddies to suicide than they had lost on deployment. So it turned into a big whole thing with the 22 push-up challenge, and we started traditional and non-traditional therapy programs. Uh, Wind therapy, which is a bunch of motorcycle riding, outdoors program, and then we had traditional therapy. In 2018, we took on first responders and their families as well uh, in that process. And then when COVID happened, uh, we found out through our sources with several police departments that we had contracts with that some officers weren't reaching out for help. And because the 22 vernacular of 22 veterans a day is veteran specific, and they felt they needed to be military before they could reach out to us. Well, that wasn't the case. And so in 2021, we rebranded officially to One Tribe Foundation because really we just want to make sure that anybody that needs help in mental emotional wellness doesn't feel that they can't come to us just because they're not a veteran. So, with that, now what we do is we focus on suicide prevention education. We do a course that we take to several different colleges, police and fire academies, companies, and things of that nature. It's a free course that we offer. We have our outdoors program, which encompasses anything outdoors, hiking and rucking, to hunting and fishing, camping, to even playing games in the park like flag football or anything else. Just if it's outdoors, we like to do it. Wind therapy, of course, motorcycle rides, and and anything that gets the wind through your hair. So there's a bunch of crossover with that. And then we have our Gold Star Family Program, which is Watch. We are the Children of Heroes. That's for families that need resources and community across the nation that have lost a loved one to either duty related illness or suicide. And we have about 400 families that way. And then so we could focus on these programs and community building events. What we've done is now we outsource the one-to-one therapy. And the benefit of that is instead of now just having two offices in the DFW Metroplex, now we have access to multiple locations across Texas and multiple states that we have direct relationships with to get people the help they need. So we're able to focus on that community, the camaraderie, and the things that a lot of veterans and police officers and people are looking for to help maybe further their journey and been improving mental and emotional wellness. So that's the nitty gritty of it.
I like that. From a personal standpoint, being a veteran and police officer, I obviously have a personal reverence to what y'all do, and I like the fact that the rebrand that was done. When you told me that a while back, I loved that because um, there is this stigma that you know if you're because we always push the veterans to suicide, and not even just you, just as a nation, right? Because it's such a big thing, and sometimes people feel like they get left out, and it's not meant to be. It's just it's just wording. So I'm glad that y'all kind of realized that. Whoever it was that sparked it first, I'm glad y'all realized that, and it's kind of opened it up because now you get to do all kinds of fun things.
Well, the thing that it stemmed from One Tribe Foundation is our motto had always been one tribe, one fight.
Right.
The human tribe, not a veteran tribe or just a first responder tribe, a human tribe, because mental and emotional wellness is a human problem. It's not a demographic problem.
Indeed.
So, and the cool thing is, it's really opened up our ability to get in other places. Like we go and talk to JROTC units now and stuff like that too. Whereas because of the kill factor, 22 kill, we weren't allowed to go into schools because
I didn't think about
they didn't
that.
want they didn't want kill across a shirt or a hat or anything like that. So, and then it's opened the doors with other companies and things like that too. So it's been a huge blessing with the rebrand and the name change.
I didn't even think about the kill function. Good realization too.
Are you
Not
sporting
leaving.
their shirt, Pat? You got their
Yeah,
shirt on right now?
yeah. It's
Yeah,
one of
right
the One
on.
Tribe Foundation shirts.
I like that shirt.
They do have y'all got all this stuff online for your merch as well too, don't you?
Yes, we do. We
I
have
I
we
kind of
have
take advantage of them being in person and just get it from them, but I thought you had it online.
yeah, we have t-shirts, flannels, hats, tanks. Working on some new things that will hopefully be out soon. And so yeah,
I'm
we
a,
have a whole line online.
I'm a big pusher of merch. Obviously, it's just cool to support, and we all like swag and stuff anyway. But whatever profits you get off of that, I guess profit's a bad term here, but whatever proceeds you get from that, y'all get to put back into your programs in your community. So, buying stuff helps y'all too, obviously.
Yeah. So so what we do is we cover our costs to reorder what we need to reorder or get new stuff, but all the proceeds that we get off merch whenever we bring it out to an event or we sell it online, all that goes right back into programming.
Yep.
So
well, out
That's
there,
awesome.
YouTube land, Cigars Unbanded, welcome back. I know y'all been doing hanging out with us almost every time we go live. And then I saw the mother stopped in to say hello, as she's done a few times. So glad you guys are here.
Hey, Mom.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mom.
That's right.
But yeah, so I love the program idea. I know I'm a little biased to it. So far, I've been blessed to not have any mental health issues myself, but I do know several who have, and I've personally lost a couple that have. So any program out there like y'all are big, and I could literally spend 2 hours straight repeating that over and over. So I will do my best not to. It's a big thing, and that's probably why I connected to the few of you guys that I've met so far the way that I did, just because it was an instant connection the first time I figured out why Bailey and everybody had y'all come out. And I'll specify this because I'm jumping my gun here for the viewers that don't know. I got the pleasure of meeting One Tribe crew at Muddy Bottoms ATV Park up in North Louisiana. I've been doing security out there for events for, oh crap, 11, 12 years now, however long it's been. And a few years after it opened, they started bringing One Tribe guys out there periodically to do fundraisers. And so I've been meeting them at the mud parks while I've been working, and just over conversation, learning what they do, getting to listen to them talk. Um, you know, weather permitting and schedule permitting, there's an amphitheater out there we've had concerts at, and we've let them get on the stage and talk about what they do to people, running around the pro shop, meeting people, talking to people. So I just had the pleasure of meeting them out there doing the events, and just realized what their mission was. So that's where my personal connection to them came from. And Bailey's the manager out there, and so that's where that name comes from, of her, and her family getting them out there to do this type of thing. So just exposure is what it is. It really is just giving you all as much exposure to the programs and stuff that you can put out there as possible.
And the cool thing about that is Bailey and Adam let us, every year we get to bring a few veterans or first responders with us. They don't just help us out at the merch tent or anything. We get them in rides, and they get to go play in the mud just like everybody else. So it's a great escape for them, and they're great hosts and allow us to bring whoever we can bring out there. And they just ask how many beds we need, and they get them for us. So it's pretty cool. It's one of the things that not just us as a staff look forward to, but also some of the guys that have been out there on a repeated basis.
Yeah, Justin, Ron, Chad, I wish y'all were close enough to have the luxury of meeting that family, because they do a lot of good things. So they've started out there working a long time ago, and they've turned into some pretty good friends out there, the way that they just treat people in general. So
how far is that from you, Pat?
It's right under an hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
north.
Just almost dead north. A little bit east, but just pretty much dead north for all things considered. Not far at all. I mean, it's no different than Justin driving to Dallas. So, it's pretty much the same thing. It's not that far. But I haven't been able to work as many days as I used to with the rotation of my PD schedule. I give Bailey crap about every other ride, that I swear she picks her dates based on my work schedule and doesn't want me out there anymore. But that's just a running joke. But I still go out there as many days as I'm able to do. It's just a good place. And, you hear stories about a lot of places having just, absolute drunk fest. And there's, anytime you're outdoor, people are going to drink. It is what it is. They want to have fun. But the way that they handle that park is probably among the safest possible in many regions of the country. So they do a fantastic job of things. So glad to be a part of that. And I'm glad they brought One Tribe out there. And it's kind of a consistent thing every year at this point, which I hope that stays.
Yeah.
Adrian, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is it true that it's another reason why you guys don't call it 22 kill is because you guys have gotten the number under 22 now?
It's a varying number. So the 22 is based off a 2012 study. And so those numbers fluctuate every year, unfortunately. Some studies showed that after it had gotten below 17 before the Afghanistan pullout. And then some studies after that showed that it got as high as 30 a day. And again, it's a VA study. So there's no telling where that number actually rests with, but that 22 is the number that just kind of hit hard with everybody and has kind of stuck around. So we love to see it go down. One is too many. We'd love to see it at 0.
Absolutely.
For all demographics. But unfortunately, it's a number that kind of just goes up and down depending with what's going on. So
I was just curious. I thought I heard the Warfighter guys talk about it. That's one of the reasons why they changed the name, or maybe they were just saying that just because. But I was just curious if the number had gotten under 22, which is good if it is.
Yeah, there's studies that show it's under 22 now that things have calmed down. But it's just a fluctuating number, and it's just going to rise and fall with what the situations are. Just the only thing that we can keep doing is bringing awareness to it, and and not just the veterans, but first responders and everybody else. It's because it's something that has affected everybody at this point. Like if you've made it to high school, you know somebody that's committed suicide. Whether it's an acquaintance or a family member or so forth. It's something that from the time you're in high school to older, it's going to affect you.
Yeah, I've had a few friends that were in the military that, ended their lives, unfortunately, too short. I've had some friends that have done too many drugs in their past, and they've passed as well. It's a very unfortunate circumstance. I also wanted to ask you another question. Did you get any uptick in your interaction with One Tribe after the Joe Rogan Bradley Cooper podcast? Because I know that Bradley Cooper mentioned y'all, and he was rocking one of y'all's shirts because he was talking about Chris Kyle and everything on the podcast. And like, it dawned on me. I was like, holy crap. I was like, we were about to have these guys on, and they were mentioned on the Joe Rogan podcast. I thought that was extremely cool.
Bradley is a great supporter and advocate of the foundation. Of course, he does a lot with his foundation as well for caregivers.
Yep.
But every time he is rocking some of our gear or says something, we always get a little bit of uptick. And of course, anybody that goes on Rogan, if they're rocking,
the whole world sees it.
Everybody's going to see it. So
that's why I was curious if if you had a little uptick, because I mean, you have influencer online, which they're not really anybody. You have us. We're just a bunch of dudes, bunch of goofy dudes. But when you have Joe Rogan podcast, the #1 podcast in the world, and then Bradley Cooper, which is a major star, like that's got to feel good to you that he supports your brand, supports the movement, and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge blessing that he does, and it's a huge blessing that he went on Rogan sporting some of our gear. And the bigger blessing is that as people look at the website and they reach out to us and find out more about our mission, then it spreads the word about awareness and how important mental and emotional health is. And, and that's what we strive for, and as much as Bradley can do with his status, that just trickles down to more people doing more and across the board. And that's what's important. It's just getting the message out to everybody.
That's awesome, man.
That's definitely the key for, just like it is any retail brand, but especially when you're trying to push out programs to people that thought that they were unreachable.
Yeah.
The more you can talk, the more you can push. If one person only sees our show, that's an impact, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's the idea is just getting and I use the word exposure. I mean, I don't know of a better word other than just repeating that, is just getting as many people to see what you can do for them, what you can provide for them to help them. And I did not realize until you said it that y'all had been able to, other than stuff like this, I didn't realize, like with the therapy thing, that you'd been able to kind of start pushing your borders. So that's a good update for me. I did not realize that. I thought it was still just right there in that area. So that's a cool thing to. How did you? In fact, that's a good question. How were you able to kind of push that?
That's what
from your office into pushing the therapy out to make it a little bit more open.
Yeah,
because I didn't realize that.
So the nitty gritty of it is that after COVID, as a smaller nonprofit, it was just not financially responsible or sustainable to keep therapists on staff for as many as we had.
Okay.
And so what we did is we started building relationships with other organizations, Mesa Springs and Life Point. And the good thing is the programs that focus on the veterans and first responders, for the most part, are ran by other veterans and first responders that have gone into that field. And Jacob Schick, our CEO, he has, and several people on our staff, including our client services manager, Francisco, have relationships across the board in that area. And so we just kind of, we saw a crack in the door and we just pushed it open, and we just let it flow from where it had to, and it's been a huge blessing. We've always been able to provide resources wherever. If you reach out to us from the middle of nowhere, Iowa, we're going to find you a resource one way or the other. If you need help, uh, we're not just going to leave you hanging. But now we have that direct flow into these organizations to where we can go, hey, well, you're over here in Florida, or you're over here in California, like, here it is, or you're over here on the north side of Fort Worth, and it's a pain to get to the south side of Fort Worth. We have that accessibility, and it opens up the variations of therapy in inpatient, outpatient, one-on-ones, seeing a therapist once a week, or to even rehab, that we have that direct access to. So it's I mean, I say blessings a lot, but yeah, it's been huge.
And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this is you don't have to be in Dallas Fort Worth to reach out to you guys. You can be wherever you are, and if you feel like you need a friend, keep it that simple. You've got a place to reach out to, and y'all will be able to point them in the right direction if you're not able to take care of them personally. So that's good to hear.
When you go back and edit this, James, it'd be a good time to maybe put the number or the contact information for One Tribe on the screen,
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
just in case
And
people that didn't catch the live can watch the recording later.
absolutely. And I will have, in fact, if y'all are for watching, I will overlay this as well, and it'll be down in the show notes as well. Their website is onetribefoundation.org, the number one tribefoundation.org. You can go there and get all their info. They've got all their programs on there, got the merch we talked about. If you're blessed and you don't need help, you can also donate on there. I've seen that. So you've got pretty much all your information that you need. You can go on that website and find it as well. But their contact info's on there for anybody that needs to reach out to them. So as well as your Facebook and social media ways to get in touch with them as well.
Well, and on the backside of what we're talking about with spreading those resources out, it gives us the ability to focus on the things that got us to lead up to the notoriety of the 22 push-up challenge and what we say our bread and butter is, which is our non-traditional programs. So outdoors, wind therapy, watch. Because really what happens is a lot of people, what they really need is just community support, camaraderie, and usually through that can work things out, whether it's in a group setting in one of our peer groups, or we're doing a retreat outdoors or something like that, or a motorcycle ride, and then everybody sitting together. It can be worked out in a group setting, or it can be worked out one-on-one afterwards, as people see each other being able to be vulnerable, and and as that community grows, and then they're more likely to go for that one-on-one help if they need it, because they know they have that community and support. So we're able to dive into those things when we're doing, camping retreat out on a ranch. We hit the campfire at night, pop out our cigars, and we're sitting around the campfire, starting with stories of all sorts, and then, it always just happens to kind of like dive into a more serious tone for a little bit. And then, usually pops off at the end. And, and that's what has enabled us to grow kind of even further is that we're able to grow these communities. Like we were talking about poker a little while ago. I just had a poker night the other night, and we just had 5 new people there, which is awesome, because that means that's 5 new people that get exposed to what our mission is, and and they get to build another community outside of where they're at. And our motorcycle rides are awesome, that Dallas leads. And then we have a family game night that exposes not just our regular families, but our watch families together, so that, kid that's lost their parent meets other kids that lost their parent, but also they get to see these other families that, come from the same community and are not going to see them as different just because they lost their parent,
Right.
And that community is a huge aspect of this whole thing, the community camaraderie that we all yearn for. and it does make it easier to trust somebody, especially if they're reaching out for help the first time. They don't know who you are yet. Finding a way to learn that you can kind of trust and appreciate these guys helps you feel comfortable opening up and get help if you feel you need it.
Yeah.
It'll allow you to even grow in your whole perspective of, someone's reaching out to you and then they get comfortable with the way that you're mentoring them and like helping them cope through their troubles. And then that's going to grow that leader to allow you to have that person in their location, you know what I mean? To even further along, be that sponsor or person that's there for their, leading that area. I really think this is an awesome thing. So I run a nonprofit organization and we deal with probably 30 to 60 veterans that we help a year. And we definitely come across veterans that are needing assistance. So this today is a great resource for me to really be able to plug in for some people that are reaching out for help through us, and we try to give our local resources, but this is also another resource that we can add to our, reference list that can give you guys a chance to come to our area. So I'm in Virginia, so we have a lot of military here in Virginia, so this is a great thing to just learn about you guys and what you're doing. But like I said, you can also grow these people that you're going to be counseling to be a counselor for someone else in their area, which I think will really grow that community base that you're talking about, which is really the big impact and allows you to brand your mission, you know what I mean, and what you're trying to do throughout the whole, across the United States.
Yeah, and that's what's so important. And and even when we have to, we take that time, we still take that time one-on-one with people, whether it's they come into the office and we sit down in the office with closed doors and talk, whether it's one of our peer groups, because we have 3 peer groups that run 2 of them run weekly, 1 bi-weekly. And or whether it's meeting them outdoors and walking around a park, and just talking, or we still take that one-on-one time. And usually when we take that one-on-one time, it also leads into that community. They're more trusting and take that next step to be like, okay, well, I've been hanging around with you, maybe it's time to meet a few more goofballs. And
Yeah,
no, that's
we just met 4 tonight.
And let's say as men, I've always been to the opinion that there's a stigma out there that it's not okay to not be okay, and that's really not, it couldn't be farther from the truth, because everybody needs somebody, and I think that's part of what your organization's doing, is helping these guys realize it's okay to open up, and share their experiences. I haven't been through those experiences, right? But I know that there's been times in my life where I've not been okay. And in my brain, it's not okay to not be okay. So I just got to hold it all in and pretend like everything's cool, right? And that's where people get in trouble, is keeping it all inside, right?
I think we all just instinctively nodded when you said that. Like, it is just, like it's that old cliche, guys can't be soft, right?
Right.
Which is not true, but that's the persona. Like, we're supposed to be the tough guys. I can't go cry for help.
Right.
But you can, and you should.
I got told something a long time ago that really resonated with me. It's being vulnerable isn't a weakness; it's a strength.
It's exactly what it is.
You can have your reverence as a man. You can, you be quiet or all that, but it's best to talk to one another, and not just us guys, but men and women as well. Women struggle with PTSD and depression just like we do. We're all, as the name is, one tribe. So it makes sense that we all need someone to confide in and to be there with. We've kind of found that with this little group of goofballs. I tell these guys all the time, I'm working 7 days a week. I have a family. Ryan's busy with his nonprofit. Chad's got kids and all different kinds of things in college. James is working nonstop. Like, we don't have very much time to hang out with people. So this is our brotherhood. I've confided these guys several times. I'm like, man, I appreciate you guys, because I don't get that outside of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we try to, and that's what we look to provide. Like, Even for us, we have 10 people on staff, and our CEO and our marketing manager are always on the go, doing what they need to do. And Jake, he's a public speaker as well, so his, and then so, and we all have our own programs that we're involved with, whether it's a committee. We're working on a 5K right now that's going to come up in 2 weeks. Our Texas Independence Day 5K. Then 3 weeks after that, we have our first big motorcycle ride of the year with Randy Couture's nonprofit organization, Extreme Couture
Nice.
Foundation. You know, and uh, and we're just up and rolling for the year. And the cool thing is there's the other things that we do with other nonprofits as well, like Randy's organization. Randy will come out and ride with us and lead the ride. And then we have Carry the Load that will be kicking off March 1st, which is 40 nonprofits that come together to make Memorial Day into Memorial May, which comes down to a big Memorial Day event here in Dallas. And we just we love working with people. We love people. We want people to feel loved. And and there's nothing like sitting, whether it's in one of our peer groups or whether it's around the campfire or whether it's at a dinner table breaking bread. Just when you get these guys and they sit down and they're vulnerable and they open up, and we're vulnerable with them as well. Like it's really awesome. And then our women's group, and they have a private Facebook group, and there's 20 of them that get together regularly on here, but they'll do stuff on their group all the time. And that's a network that's nationwide. They got like 250 members and they get going.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. As being like a first responder or someone in the service or military or police, you have this persona that you got to provide a service. You know what I mean? Like that's your heart. That's what your gift is. You know what I'm saying? And when you go into a low spot in your life, you kind of feel like you're losing your purpose. And it's not the truth. There lies in our head, but we feel that. We often go into those slumps where we feel like we lose our purpose. And what you guys are doing is you're pouring into these men and women, and you're allowing them to realize that they do still have a purpose, and their life is very, very strong for what they can provide for somebody else, and it's just them to recognize that again. And that's an amazing thing that you guys are doing. It really is.
Yeah.
One of my old mentors used to say that you matter, right? And it's not, yes, in the service, and it was a police mentor. So in this guise of conversation, yes, we matter to what we can help others for, and that service that you're mentioning that we can provide. And there's that expectation, but if you don't matter to yourself first, you're worthless to everybody else. And I don't mean worthless as in you're not any good. It's just if you can't take care of yourself first, even if your personal fortitude is to serve others, you just can't, because you're not steady in yourself first. So like you have to matter to yourself, so you got to focus on yourself as well while you're trying to put out and serve for others. You gotta take care of home base as well.
I bring it back to the airplanes. You got to put the mask on yourself first before you can put it on others.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me and my wife tell each other all the time. We're like, we got to take care of our mental strength before we can deal with these crazy kids.
You got to. You have to.
Well,
go ahead, Adrian.
Well, one thing that Jake, and we've put on some shirts is you got to lean in, love hard to live well, and you can't live well without leaning in and loving hard. But you can't do either of those three without loving yourself first.
Yeah.
Like if you don't love the person that's in the mirror when you wake up in the morning, no matter how big your servant's heart is, like you can't go out there and do it correctly. You can't go out there and do it with right things for right reasons. And so, it's so important to focus on. It's healthy selfish. You got to be a healthy selfish, like taking care of your own mental and emotional fortitude before you can have a real positive impact on others.
Yeah, that's just there's nothing out there. I mean, that's just hard truth. Like you're right.
That's
You got
good
to think
advice for
of
anybody in any situation at any time. Though, really,
Yeah.
Yeah,
spreads across the whole board.
healthy
Adrian,
selfish.
I've introduced James to this, but it's called Warfighter Scuba. Have you heard of them?
No.
So they're a veteran-owned scuba company based in Roatan, Honduras, and they take a lot of service members and first responders scuba diving to help with their PTSD and take them out and show them a good time and everything. And maybe that's something that you can link up with. They have nothing to do with Warfighter Tobacco. It's two different companies. They do know each other. John Simmons from Warfighter Tobacco, he just got certified as a scuba teacher, so he's all certified there. But that's something that you may want to look into, maybe venture out and see if you guys maybe want to collaborate on something like that. That's always a good idea.
Oh, that'd be cool. I mean, that's another resource in the book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Absolutely.
can't have too many connections, no matter.
No, that's
Whether-
what networking is about.
100%. That's how you grow the community and grow the purpose right there.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
you said you had motorcycle nights. You call it wind therapy.
Yeah, so we have wind therapy, and Dallas, our wind therapy manager, he leads a monthly motorcycle ride. Two of them are big rides. The one with Randy Couture that's coming up in March 21st, and then we have our big motorcycle ride that's in November. But in between, he fits in monthly rides and start at either a gas station and end up at a good barbecue spot out in the middle of the country, or
That's awesome.
the bigger rides. It's kind of about the experiencing the event, and it's getting in a big ride with everybody else. But those smaller ones, he gets 10 to 20 people, and they just hit the road for a few hours, and it's always a good turnout when he's able to do that. And this past couple months have been a couple hard, and weather's been a little harsh here as it has been everywhere else. But that's one of the awesome ways to kick off monthly motorcycle rides. Is why not do it?
I like that you call it wind therapy. Feel the wind through your hair. But what do you do for guys like Ryan and Chad that have no hair?
It's fine.
Just shine them,
Justin-
shine them.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, we can still feel the wind.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Those
Give
guys
it a good-
weird.
Give them a
Give
good
you guys a good
waxing
blast.
before they hit the road.
Now, something that's
Goes-
also going to intrigue me and Chad, and I'm sure the other guys. You said you had a poker night. That's something I might be interested in since I live so close to you guys. I would love to join you guys if I can.
Oh no, you're more than welcome. So what we do?
Easy money.
Maybe for them, I suck at poker, but I like to play.
So it's a
Come on in,
friendly
Justin.
game.
We'll take your money.
Yeah, it's a friendly game of poker. We have everybody from all different skill levels. We have a few guys that will bring their kids their sons every now and then, and it's again about that community and camaraderie. We usually have anywhere from 3 to 5 tables playing at a time. We come in, shoot the breeze for about 30 to 45 minutes, and get some dinner in. We provide dinner. And it's down at the office. We usually have a game going or a movie or whatnot if there's not a good source of entertainment going on in sports.
Can you smoke at the table? Is my big question.
No, unfortunately not. But
Damn it.
do have a sitting area outside where you can catch some.
I'll be gone for an hour, you guys. Don't look at my cards.
Yeah, we'll
You'll be out quick, so don't worry. You just eat
Yeah,
your
that's
dinner,
true,
go
that's
out,
true.
then go smoke your cigar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a habit of being the first man out. Like I like to play poker, but it's not often people beat me to be first out.
Justin, follow my thought here. I'm not going to say his name just in case so I don't foot and mouth, but there's somebody the four of us know that are over there that would probably be down to join you on these poker nights and expand.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
MM.
Yep.
Mad money.
Mad money.
So we need to link them up link them up together.
Yeah, for sure.
So
He's
we'll
a
do that
current
after this.
cigar maker for 262 Cigars, and he used to build poker tables back in the day, and he's got one left, and he's been talking about a poker night. Maddie, if you're watching this, I'm waiting for the invite, bro. I'm waiting for the invite.
Yeah. So the poker night is just one of the few monthly things that we do as kind of like an open event uh, to build that community of like-minded people. We have just as many people that haven't worn a uniform in service that come in and play as we do that have and still do wear uniforms in service, and so it's pretty cool. So we have the poker night, we have the monthly motorcycle rides, we have a monthly hike we call Tribe Trek. We go to this park in Grapevine, which is a little suburb just north of here, and we do just a quick 2.5, 3 miles, and then we go have coffee afterwards for those that can enjoy it. And then
What park is it in Grapevine?
Parr Park off
Okay,
Hall
yeah.
Johnson and Parr
My
Lane.
wife is from Grapevine, so my in-laws live in Grapevine. We go to Grapevine all the time. I know that park well.
Yeah, and so
That's a good
that's
little
where
hike.
we go. It's a real family friendly park. It's
Mm-hmm.
paved too, so I get a guy that comes out every one now and again, and he's in a chair. So he works as long as he does as much as he can with his legs, and he's still able to partake. And then
Still
the
roll
women,
around a little bit.
yeah, I try not to dump them in the creek, but it comes close every now. Then the women, they get together for a luncheon at least once a month, and then it's a little bit more closed, but we do our family game night, like I mentioned, once a month as well, and that's of course a little bit more closed off because we're dealing with families and kids. But we open up those other things monthly because like-minded people are important, and you don't have to wear a uniform to serve, and that's
Correct.
important too, and that's a big thing behind our messaging with One Tribe as well, is you don't have to wear a uniform to serve.
Yeah.
That's good.
Everybody here on staff, it has a direct connection to either military or first responder service. But like I personally, I'm civilian. JJ, the other person you've met, Pat, is
Yep.
he's civilian as well. My military history in the family goes back to the Revolution. Mental
That's
health
awesome.
has always been important to me because I've struggled with it a good deal of my life. Uh, but we all have a direct connection and a direct, and a heart for the mission. And it's important to like I've said it before, just let it grow, and build out. And so like it's done so much more for me being here and being a part of the tribe, and working with these guys. Like, it kind of opens up my head to, like, okay, I need to maybe deal with this my BS just a little bit more, and I'm as I see these guys progress, I'm able to progress as well. There's always going to be the struggles, but you know uh I had started volunteering in 2019, but um in 2020 my brother had overdosed and passed away. But in that grief process, created a few things on my end that uh didn't bode so well, and I wasn't dealing with correctly. And you know I had a plan, and I was intent on going through with it. And, like, for 2 weeks straight, I struggled every single day uh, after his 1 year anniversary. And, and then I got to sit down, I carried the load, and at our base camp, and I sat down and I listened to Jake speak to some people that he was mentoring and some other people that just kind of dove in and sat around while he was talking. And then I got to sit and talk with a few other guys and build some relationships that really just, you know, built up. And, you know, for me as a civilian, this organization has just done just so much for me. Like, I can't even put it into words what it's done for me and my mental and emotional health, you know?
You've said this twice, and I was going to ask you in a minute, but since you've said it, the words again, explain the expounded connection with Carry the Load.
So Carry the Load is a nonprofit. They operate nationwide, and their focus is bringing nonprofit partners together to make Memorial Day into Memorial May. So they start in mid-April. They start a relay that starts at 5 different points across the United States, and they have people that either walk or bus down through certain points, carrying flags representing the nonprofits they work for or associated with. And what it is it helps build awareness, it helps build funds and things of that nature. And then what happens is Memorial Day, we're off Katy Trail in Dallas, and these nonprofit partners come together. We have information booths and everything set up in Reverchon Park, and then there's 2,500 storyboards of guys that have fallen to service, of first responders, of veterans, and we walk up and down Katy Trail, beat the pavement. Some people do it with rucks. Some people do it with weighted vests. Some people just do it in their sheer tennis shoes. There's some firefighters that do it full gear.
No.
It's a way to remember the brothers and sisters that we've lost in service. And we say, who are you carrying? What's the weight that you're carrying? The name that you're carrying, and everybody that's out there has somebody's name, and then there's a lot of people that are out there just for the support and the awareness. And it was started by 2 Navy SEALs that, they just found that carrying a heavy ruck and hitting the pavement was a good way to remember and to unload some of that weight, even with all the weight that's on their back. And, we've been blessed to be a part of it since 2013. We've been a beneficiary for a while now too, and it's a great way to see all these nonprofits come together and work together and be resources for each other. At our base camp, we have several other organizations that stay with us: Adaptive Training Foundation, Reverend Warrior, Merging Vets and Players. They camp down with us, and we just try to make it a big experience for everybody, to where we can unload some of that weight that we're carrying throughout the year. That we can say our loved ones' names, our brothers or our sister's name, and keep those names alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
doing
I
something
think
physical. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's kind of going to what you're about to say, Jessica. Because I think we often overlook, because we do focus, and you said this multiple times, Adrian, that we do focus on remembering those who we've lost, trying to prevent the next suicide, but sometimes we do overlook how it affects us, and sometimes we try to bury that so that we forget how to unload. And there's so many of us that have dealt with suicide, whether firsthand or secondhand. I've had several that I've lost to suicide. My first experience is I was in 3rd grade. It was my teacher. So I had to figure out how to handle those emotions at a very young age. And then I had a very close friend's dad commit suicide. And I don't know of a better way to say this, but almost in an unfortunate blessing, having to go through that, I was able to talk. Unfortunately, we are not friends anymore because this did put a rift between us. But 20 years later, one of my really good friends is still alive because I was able to take those emotions and talk him out of it.
Mm.
So I will take the fact that we lost our friendship because we got so close and personal. He then felt awkward and he just wasn't able to talk, but he's still here.
Yeah.
So, I'll take that loss, and maybe one day we'll reconnect, maybe we won't, but I know for a fact he's still around. So being able to, and it was tough. I'm not going to say it was easy, but being able to have those two suicides that I lost that were very close to me, and find a way to manage that, to go push it back to somebody else to help them, like, hey, this isn't what you need to do. And speaking in his personal situation, obviously, because everybody's different, but finding a way to handle it on my own end to help somebody else, it mattered. And I've lost a few more since then, a couple military, a couple that are not. And so kind of what Justin, I heard the first few words, what he's about to lean into is, finding a way to physically represent that. It's tough, but if you can work through that, you can become a support for your own family and friends, and then whoever else you haven't met yet or encompassed.
You had those unfortunate events, but it gave you great perspective,
Mhm.
Yeah.
is what I would say. What I was
Yeah.
going to say is that doing something physical like that, physically exerting yourself, taking on the load, takes the load off of you.
Mhm.
Everyone always, people that are, healthy people, or the people that work out a lot, they always say, man, those people are the nicest people because they physically exert themselves. So their stress is just gone after that. And they can open up to being, introduced to different things or just being a calmer individual. So that's a good way, like you said, carrying the load to take the load off of you.
Yeah, and we do what's called a midnight march, and we did. So at midnight on Memorial Day, to officially kick off Memorial Day, um, we do a midnight march, and it's about 4.5 miles that we do. We don't do the whole 7 mile loop, but we do it in complete silence.
Wow.
And uh,
Whew.
there can be about 200 of us that hit the trail at that one point, and man, it's intense. Uh, the only sound that you'll hear outside of some of the regular noises of Dallas nightlife is Terry Burgess, who lost his son Brian in Afghanistan. He has dog tags on the back of his rucksack
Mm.
and Brian's shoes, and the only thing that you hear is those dog tags from Brian's unit, because they took a lot of hits in Afghanistan and over here. Is you hear those dog tags just clinging, and that's the only thing about 200 people can hear for that 4 mile stretch.
Wow.
And it's so intense. You see guys that you would think never see have tears in their eyes come back because we're just forced to focus on that that 4 mile stretch, and then we come back into base camp and guys are grabbing whatever snacks we have for left over from dinner and stuff like that. And man, the openness that they have with each other and everything. There's some of us, like me personally, like I have to go do a few miles on my own after that, because it just gets at me that before I can kind of sit down and talk with somebody. And there's been a few people that have joined in the past on that we just had to go do that separate, and that makes it feel on our own,
You
and we
got to
come back.
decompress a little bit.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
because
It's a
man,
lot.
yeah, it's, and to have 200 people that are, and it's just dead silent, and it's very intense. It's emotional, spiritual, even, and yeah, it works at you.
But
That is I don't even know if there's proper words to explain that type of sound, because you always hear the kind of I don't know, the slogan, you could hear a pin drop, right? But it's when you're in a silent room and you hear the pin, it echoes, right?
Mhm.
And I can only roughly imagine the intensity behind, I guess, the emotional impact of that type of march with that many people, and that's all you can hear is those tags, like whether whose tags they are or not. I think that sound would reverberate, and that's got to hit home.
Yeah, it hits home for every single one of us that are on that march.
And I think, obviously one tribe as a specific group, obviously I'm here for, but I like the link with Carry the Load as well, and that y'all are a part of that, and it bringing so many people together. Um, it's just this kind of everything we're about, and this is just this is off y'all's website with the Carry the Load. Just the people
Yeah.
that come together, right? So this is just one image that y'all have posted. I just snagged it off of there. But
Yeah, and that's
Just-
just a small group of the people that we were able to gather for that photo. We were still
Is
trying.
that at Memorial Park?
Reverchon Park.
Okay.
It's I'm trying to remember, over off Maple and Turtle Creek, I believe.
I got
Yeah.
you.
So just the ability to get people together for such a profound purpose is simply amazing. I don't have a better word for that.
Yeah, and it's about coming together and figuring out the solutions together, because there's not a single one of us that has. We're not arrogant enough or prideful enough to say that we have the one all fix all. That's why outdoors encompasses anything outdoors. And even though wind therapy is predominantly motorcycle riding, if you say let's go skydiving and that's your therapy, like, we're going to figure out a way to get it done, And then for the things that we don't have direct access to, like, we work with these other organizations because we can sit there and work together. Somebody says that they have a TBI or an amputation or a spinal cord injury, and they come to us and they're working with us, but they go, I want to go do a Spartan race, or I want to go run an Ironman. I can send them to another foundation that we work with, and we can do that. And and so that's one of the beautiful things about Carry Load, and that's one of the things that, like, especially as when I started off as a volunteer, going through Carry the Load, it just made me stick around even longer,
Mhm.
especially with One Tribe Foundation. And because I did a lot of research before I chose who I wanted to volunteer with and support. I didn't want to be caught up in with supporting an organization that all of a sudden they discover that the finances are bad, or they're not going through with their mission or anything like that. Like, and so I spent some time, and the more time that I've spent here, and now that I'm even able to do this full time, like, it's an honor and a blessing to be able to serve others, you know, and to see the way that we're able to work with others to continue and grow that service even further.
Yeah.
And
It's a powerful statement, and there's a lot of different ways that you can connect, even the simple stuff. And I was thinking about this. You said it earlier. I don't know what triggered it. Um, Even if you can't, sponsor, donate, or anything like that, right? The small things help you all out. And I know I had it for a long time, and you actually gave it to me personally. The honor ring that y'all do. Um, yeah, I need to get another one. So I screwed up, and it's 20. They've got it in steel and rubber, if I'm not mistaken. I think you've got both.
titanium, tungsten, and rubber. Yeah.
So I had the rubber one, and it's has a 22 kilo on it, and I had it on my trigger finger, which is the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it on there for a long time until it finally got stretched out, and then I had it on my gear selector of my old truck, and I forgot to take it off my old truck because my new truck has a different style, and I just forgot, and it went with the trade-in. And
Somebody got one. That's cool.
yeah, somebody got one.
They're
Hopefully,
gonna Google it and find out what it's
right.
all about.
So I just you said something earlier, and I don't know why that triggered, and I realized that I had forgotten to go get another one. So I will be doing that. But even the little stuff like that, right? The little things, it it helps y'all, but it also is a constant reminder. And that's, one of the reasons I like the shirts. I wear them. I don't have all of them. I've got 5 or 6 at this point. I'll wear them routinely, and every time you put it on, it's kind of like you feel it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely some power behind it, and understanding the purpose. And this is one thing that I know merch isn't the only thing you have, but it's a double-sided win for me, because you get the personal reverence when you're wearing it, but it's also recognized that the purchase is helping y'all push that into some other programs. So
Yeah, and one thing that we always talk about to people when they're wanting to support us is time and talent means a whole lot more than treasure. You know,
good. Yeah.
because the thing is we can have all the monetary donations and treasure flowing in as possible, but if people aren't investing time and talent, that means the mission is staying in just one spot. Like the word
Yeah.
isn't getting
Yeah.
out there the way it needs to be. And we believe that when people spend time with us, or time supporting us, what's going to happen is they're going to go out and they're going to talk about it. Like the honoring, for instance, is one way. It's a way of showing that it's a part of the tribe. It's another way to honor past, present, and future service, but also it's a conversation starter. With all these mood rings and stuff like that, it's like, so is your ring through AT&T or Verizon? No, it's my honoring. It's my honoring. Well,
Yeah.
what's the honoring? Well, and now it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
It's also a way that when you see somebody wearing this ring on their index finger, you go, that person gets it.
Yeah.
Yep.
They know, and and it's also a silent reminder why we have it on the trigger finger is if it's hit the fan and you got that plan, it's a reminder. I mean, I wear the tungsten one because it's a little bit heavier, and it's a weight that says, before you get stupid,
Mm,
somebody loves me, somebody wants to talk to me.
that's
That's the purpose behind it. But time
Sometimes
and
that small symbolism can stop a massive disaster.
hmm and that time and talent means so much more because we know that everybody can't afford to make monetary donation every month, but the thing is if you're taking that mission forward and you're mission ready and you're talking to somebody about their mental and emotional wellness, or you're talking to them about suicide, or and you're just getting to the nitty gritty of it, you're being vulnerable with somebody, well, that goes further down the line. That's not an impact that we're making just on one person. That's something that's going to balloon out.
Yep.
We don't ever get to see that all the time,
That's
but the more time and talent we know that we have behind us,
Yep.
the more the mission goes forward. And just as a result of time and talent, the treasure is going to come in one way or another. Like we are so blessed with the monetary support that we have, but the thing is about it is, for every dollar that we have coming in, we got multiple people out there that all they can do is just mission forward with, mental emotional wellness. Hey, let's participate in guys night or the women's group or tribe trek or our tribe ride or whatever it may be. Like they just participate, or they go and do an event in California or Maine or Florida or wherever, and they say, hey, we did this, you know uh, or we want to do this, and we just appreciate and love the support, you know and
Pretty
The
awesome.
shirts and rings, they're available on your website.
yes,
Yep.
sir.
I'll
Yeah.
definitely be
There's-
getting some shirts.
There is and on the rings, there's quite a few different options for, if you do have your style preferences as well. So they got a few things on there. So they
If you
got
got
plenty of
black
stuff
and
on
gold,
there
I'm
for
all over it.
we the tungsten and titanium rings are just all black, but we have some engraving options. If there's anything on there that means something uh, to you, and so we can engrave them. They take a little bit longer, but we can get it done.
And I'm assuming
What I
all the
can't
proceeds go to the foundation.
Yeah, all proceeds go to the foundation, and that's how we're
Excellent.
able to do these community building events monthly. And we add in things like a movie night here and there or a coffee meetup, uh, and we're able to do these other things that we're able to bring these community together. And and we have more retreats that are going to be able to come up this year. We had a very blessed, we've always been blessed, but we were very blessed this past year as well. And now we're able to do some more things that we had to cut back from for a little bit just because it wasn't responsible for us to do. But now we're able to do those things again, and it's awesome to see it growing and getting those things done and getting more and more people involved and getting and serving others.
You guys should have a cigar night too.
Dude, we got some cigar aficionados. We have one advocate that I know whenever he's out at an event with us, whether it's a golf tournament or we're out at a ranch on a hike or a hunt or a fishing trip, I can count on him. JJ, who Pat has met, it was funny. Rain came through at Muddy Bottoms this past year, and we are both just hiding in our carts because it was the only place we could smoke without getting soaked. But and every time we do a camping retreat, it seems once we get the guys around gather around in a circle, whether it's around a campfire or whatnot, it just one, two, and then three, and then God knows how many cigars just happen to pop out. And we sit back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if I can ever make it to an event, I'll definitely bring some smokes with me and share.
Sweet.
Well, Justin, I can tell you personally, they may not have the gold and black rings, but I know for a fact there's a gold and black hat and hoodie, so you can still get your gold and black hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Pat, you scouring the website right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Checking out the merch.
Well, as soon as I said I needed to get me another rubber honor ring to put back on my finger, and that's just because so I can wear it at work. I don't even wear my real wedding ring at work, so that way if I got to put my gloves on, it doesn't get caught. I just put it back in my cart so I don't forget to do it. So, so I'm on the site right now, but I can't say I'm going to do it and then not do it. That's just wrong.
Right.
So, but man, I have unfortunately, I know we got to kind of start wrapping up on time, but all y'all are watching. I appreciate the few of y'all that made in comments. Coulter, I think I slipped and forgot to say hey back when you jumped in. My bad, brother.
Your mom said a few things too. Very nice
my mom said a few things, and this one comment I threw up while you're talking, I'll throw it up again because it's very true. She said, "Thanks, Adrian, for helping so many people who may not find help otherwise." And
yeah,
I think that's kind of the encompassing factor of the whole purpose of us bringing you out here, is just trying to let people, even if it's just our group of people that hear about it, one person can hear about you. We made an impact, right? So. And that's all we wanted to do is let the people that don't know who you are yet know about you. I've personally been a supporter, and hopefully others can as well. But at the end of the day, is if you're listening and you feel like you need any support, you need any help, you don't have to tell anybody if you're not ready yet. But now you have another avenue to reach out. If you don't want to tell your friends, you don't want to tell your family, because I understand that's a thing as well.
Yeah.
I encourage you to do so, but if you're not ready to that point, you have somebody that's outside of your circle to reach out to and talk to and get involved if that's what you want to do. And like you said, it's not, although some of your physical events are in Texas, you have outreach across the country with, just jump on the website and reach out, you start simple, start there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that you came on and talked to us. It's been enlightening for us, some things even that I didn't know that you expounded on. I know these guys have, had their comments as well. And I think we all appreciate the encouragement that you provided above just the information as well.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
What I tell Ryan all the time is you're doing the Lord's work.
Yep.
That's right.
100%.
Yeah,
No,
And we appreciate you coming on, man. It was before you came out, I didn't know anything about One Tribe, and I'm very intrigued, and I'm glad that you came on the show.
guys,
It's
I
great.
appreciate you guys having me. Like, it's been an honor, and Pat, it's always good to connect with you. And
Absolutely.
you being here in Fort Worth, there's plenty of guys that come down from the Keller area, so now you don't have an excuse.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
like I told you, person last time I saw you, I haven't been over. In fact, I have not been over to DFW at all this year due to some a lot of business I've had to do this year. My whole schedule's been off, but I'm kind of getting back to normal. So I'll be heading back over there periodically. So I'll link back up with you on your side of the world, hopefully in the near future. So
yeah, that sounds great.
But yeah, guys, thanks those here on the show. Thanks for. I'm glad we got everybody here, got to talk, spend some time together. If y'all are watching out there, appreciate y'all's comments. If you're seeing this show after, like always, we repost this in a few days. So if you're seeing this show after the live, you can still drop those show notes, drop your comments, and we'll respond. If you got any questions, you can email us directly at thehollowdown@gmail.com. Anything that you need, show related or not, reach out to us and we're there. But until next time, y'all know the drill. Stay safe and hollow down.